Hey guys, what's going on? It's Tcarp. All right, welcome to Oak and Sparrow Homestead. So, named it Oak and Sparrow because um, oak's a native tree here to East Tennessee. It provides food, shelter, strength. Roots grow pretty daggum deep. And um, sparrow, God talks about he knows when even a sparrow falls, and he feeds the sparrows and he cares for them, and they don't have to work until God feeds them. And how much we don't need to worry about food and what we'll eat and all that, and we just need to trust in the Lord because he'll take care of us. And he tells us, how much greater are you than sparrows? So something that God has provided me, that's what we've named it, Oak and Sparrow Homestead. So welcome to it. Wanted to show you guys a little bit of it and really kind of show you what God's done. And going to show you some projects that we're definitely going to start on it, because with any homestead, I'm going to show you the real, the good, the bad, the ugly, all the things. And guys, I'm just a guy that moved from like less than a quarter of an acre to 5 acres. 5 acres, and I've got awesome neighbors, as you can see. They're going to be really cool, and I'll show you what I did. Show you things that worked, show you things that, like I said, didn't, and all the fun things. Stay with me. Hank, we're going to check out the homestead. All right. So, how it works is this is the edge of my property right here. The property conveniently has a barbed wire fence kind of going all the way around it. This used to be about 100-acre cattle field, and they sold it off into 5-acre plots, and then there's a acreage way back there, if you can see it, and that gentleman has 50 acres behind Oak and Sparrow, which is pretty awesome. That's what we want. So we're blessed to at least have the backside pretty, blocked off. We've got this side blocked off. Then we've got 20 acres beside us that we hope never sells. One day, hopefully, we can maybe buy it. But I'm gonna walk the property with you guys and show you some things. Let me go back over here. That beautiful fence line, so my neighbor has a bunch of trees back here, which it makes a great bedding area for deer. Unfortunately for coyotes, but for deer, for things like that, makes a great area. And this corner here makes a great little deer highway, little deer funnel right into this area. Let me show you this, guys. All right. I found this when I was first on this property. I don't know if you can see that or not, but that is just where they have just wore this little place out. Now, it's rained, so it's hard to see, but it'd be fun to check and see exactly how many days they're coming out. But they run down this fence line, and they have good cover. They may even bed in this fence line. It just depends on what they want to do. But it seems like they go in here, that's just where they cross or whatnot. Now I'm also going to look and see where they cross in here as well, but I don't see many just super defined trails other than that one that we saw. And again, it just depends. Now, I do think they're walking in here. I do think they're walking inside that privet and cedar and whatnot. So I do think they're walking on here. Now, another cool thing about the homestead is we were able to run underground electric all the way down through, which that was a pretty cool little expense. But we really didn't want wires. We just wanted the beauty of the place, and I believe that's what we got. All right, so for Oak and Sparrow Homestead, we chose to do a Barndominium because, honestly, it was one of the most inexpensive ways for us to get a large build that we thought was going to be great. Metal siding, metal roof, and we were able to get it at the time of filming and signing and finishing everything up about $185 a square foot. And at the time of building this, regular buildings here in town were 220 to 250 a square foot. So I believe we got a great deal on this house. This Barndominium was made by Summertown Metals in Summertown, Tennessee. They framed it. They put everything in. They framed it, built the metal, or manufactured the metal and whatnot, and basically finished the inside for us. We were in an 800 square foot apartment for about 10 months. So it took this build about 10 months to do. Now, some builds get done in 6-7 months. I'd say the average is 10 months to a year. That's just me. What I really want to tell you is whatever any manufacturer says, double that time. Give yourself that double time. That way you don't get in your mind, oh man, it's been 6-7 months. Like, why am I not in my house? Well, things happen. So the cool thing about this is it's got a great front porch, great back porch. If you're good, I might show you the inside, but you have to like, subscribe, and share, and I'll show you what's on the inside of the house next visit when we get all fully moved in. Now, like I said, the Oak and Sparrow backs up to beautiful 50 acres, but all this 5 acres is mine, which is awesome. Got some dirt back here that haven't really figured out what we want to do with. Think it would be a pretty awesome place or way to like maybe pile up some berm, maybe fix the 1/4-mile driveway we've got going in. Not sure. Now I do have some projects that I do need to finish out. Some projects that I want to show you guys. One, and I'm a little embarrassed, but I'm going to show you, got to fix the old Hustler up. So this Hustler I bought for a couple $1,000s last year to help mow the homestead. I covered it up and everything just kind of ripped and broke and all that. So what I need to do is I know I need a starter. I know I need that because it was kind of going bad last year. I need to clean out the fuel system. Might need a new battery, or at least to charge the battery. We'll need an oil change, and we'll just kind of go from there and see what we need. So again, and if you've never worked on a zero turn, guess what? Neither have I. We're going to figure that out together, and I'm going to show you again the do's and don'ts. But let me show you how this Hustler is. All right, so this is a rebuilt Hustler. So this does have a Kawasaki engine on it. This Kawasaki is, let's take a look. I think it's a 31 horsepower FX85V, I think is what it's saying. But we're going to clean it up, make it look really nice, make sure the hydraulic systems are all ready to rock and roll. I do know these Kawasaki engines are pretty rock solid from what I hear. So everything should be good. And again, this is a beater homestead zero turn. I don't have 10, 15,000, and I need something that's going to last me a little bit. But at the same time, I know that it's not going to be perfect. This is a homestead. We've got, we also have a nice little carry-on trailer that we got for it. The trailer was probably just as much as this when it was all said and done. Then we've got Dad's boat that we need to fix up. And of course, when we got the homestead and moved out to it and moved out basically all the stuff on it, it was like, all right, get everything on it, just kind of pile up everything and move everything out of the way. So now that we're actually on the homestead, now it's like time to clean up, time to start projects. I've got the kayaks. Can't wait to clean everything up there. And definitely get the water out of that. We got to clean up the Blackstone. Ooh, we've got some traps we can set. So much stuff that we can do, and this is the fun little John boat. So this John boat is a fiberglass 3-hole Tommy Boy, I believe. And we just can do a lot of fun work with this. And then we have like a little 25 Johnson that just needs a little bit of TLC. That's all this boat needs, and man, it will be fishing in no time. And then we have again the grass and the grounds. So the question is what do we do with all this land? What do we do with all this land? Do we put chickens on it? Do we put cows on it? Me and my wife, we still work 40 hours a week. At least I do. I work 45, 50 hours, a week. My wife works 30. So the question is what do we do with this? How do we put this in a good place? How do we get this in a good place? Well, we're going to start small. I want to start with a couple chickens. Go down to the co-op and just, have a chicken tractor and just move it around. But first thing first, I gotta get some grass out here. So what do we do with that? Do we do fescue like our neighbors got in the field here, which is just a pure, really nice blue fescue that's made for hay? Or do we enjoy and let God do its course? We do nitrogen fixers like this clover that'll really bring the deer in. The deer love clover. Do we do that? Do we use the natural resources here that God gave us and let it do its job? The thing is, this field has been, a cow field. It's had cows on it, and it's been used as a crop field. So it's been used to do corn and wheat and soybeans and all that, because that's what the farmers over here are doing. But I want to let this ground rest for a little bit. I think the right answer is for this year, not go crazy, maybe get some chickens, and I worry about mowing it and bush hogging it, every so often. But basically from there, I maybe plant some natural grasses like some blue stems. We got sage growing up, broom sage over here. That's those yellow uh, grasses that are growing right up here. Let me show you. And I apologize about the wind. I'll try to edit that out, but AI edit makes my voice kind of sound weird. But so these right here that you see are called broom sage. Basically, you can get that and make a broom out of it. But what it represents, if you have a lot of this popping up, that's soil that's been kind of used and abused, which is all our soils here in East Tennessee. You know, they've been used and abused for a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to restore. You know, this homestead represents restoration. This homestead represents redemption, revival. That's what I want this to be and represent, and that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to follow really the advice of the, you know, if you've got Angel, the lunatic farmer. He you know, follow his advice, and I'm going to get some of his books and do things like that. And I'm just excited for you guys to come along with me on this journey. My question is too, what do we do with this 1/4-mile driveway? Do we put a vineyard up there? Like there's so many things that we can do. And whatever you guys think, put it down in the comments. Tell me what you think. And next time, I'll show you inside. So y'all be good. Like, subscribe, do all the fun things with the channel. Again, welcome to Oak and Sparrow Homestead. This is Tcarp signing out.